I'm Jason Epperson, this is RV Miles, and it's time for this week's RV and Camping News Roundup. As electric vehicles become more prominent, many folks have wondered how campgrounds will deal with the increased stress of charging electric vehicles at the campsite. Well, some will simply ban electric vehicle charging altogether. For instance, there's a product out there now that allows the campground to lock out either the 50 amp or 30 amp outlet on a power post so that both aren't being used at the same time. Most systems just aren't designed to handle a 30 amp RV running its air conditioners while an electric vehicle charges on the 50 amp outlet. A big part of the problem is that when a 50 amp RV is plugged into the 50 amp outlet, it almost never uses the full 100 amps at 120 volts that it provides. An electric vehicle, on the other hand, is using the full capacity of the 50 amp outlet nearly the entire time it's charging. While some campgrounds are certainly going to prohibit electric vehicle charging, others will lean into it. For example, Woodall's Campground magazine shared the story this week of the Torrey Hills RV and Golf Resort in Bowling Green, Florida, which has built 210 EV-ready campsites that include standard RV power hookups at the back of each campsite and a 50 amp pedestal to charge an EV at the front. The park is using smart meters that will tell operators if the system surpasses 80% capacity, at which point they can limit output to the chargers. But they don't suspect that will happen. The meters will also charge customers for their power usage directly to the credit card on the file for their site. The first EV charging sites opened September 1st, and they say park owners across the country are calling to come see their setup, and they plan to add an additional 361 sites soon. On the other end of the power spectrum, the Drive.com is reporting a diesel truck owner's battle with the state of New Jersey that's leading to the scrapyard. Mike Siebold removed the emissions equipment from his 2008 Ram 2500, a process many call deleting. And after listing it for sale on Facebook Marketplace, he received a letter from the state's Department of Environmental Protection telling him that his truck must be returned to stock or taken off the road. They told him that he cannot transfer the title in any way without returning the vehicle to stock. As his conversations with the department continued, they told him that the only way to avoid monetary penalties without making the required repairs was to send the truck to a scrapyard. Siebold felt it would cost around $10,000 to return the truck to stock, and he wouldn't be able to complete it within the 60-day window he was given, so he decided to deregister the truck and ran it at a sled pull, which convinced him to use it strictly for competition and off-road use. But the Department of Environmental Protection didn't find that satisfactory and gave him a deadline of September 25th to add emissions components like the diesel particulate filter back into the truck or have it destroyed. After exhausting his options, Siebold elected to have the truck slated to be crushed. Something to think about if you plan to delete the emission system from any truck. Make sure that you can resell it. New Jersey takes a firm stance on selling deleted trucks. It just isn't allowed, and they found out just by trolling sales listings. Several attempts have been made in the past to organize America's churches as possible overnight parking locations for RVers. Well, it seems that Harvest Hosts is succeeding in bringing many into the fold. The annual membership that brings unique overnight RV parking experiences to travelers announced this week that it has exceeded 200 hosts within its growing church category, joining a wider network of over 7,000 Harvest Host locations across North America. Throughout the pandemic, millions were unable to attend religious services in person, and during this time, some struggling congregations sought out unlikely ways to bring back members and donations. For the small businesses and nonprofits represented within the Harvest Host network, including churches, the supplementary income has proven to be impactful. Harvest Host members spend or donate an average of $50 per night at each location they visit. The company anticipates its members will spend over $40 million directly within its small business and nonprofit locations in 2022 alone, of which Harvest Host does not take any cut or commission. For many hosts, that can mean between $10,000 and $30,000 increase in annual revenue. Quote, as we introduced the new church category to the platform, we found a natural connection between the congregations and RVers fueled by a sense of community, said CEO of Harvest House Joel Holland. We are proud and humbled that so many churches see value in partnering with us and have been able to use the additional donations to give back to their communities. We look forward to growing the category and bond between these groups. Good Sam, the membership organization owned by Camping World, is launching what it calls a consumer protection program, which will provide a near real-time fair market value of RVs to assist prospective and current RV owners in getting the appropriate value during the buying and selling process. The appraisal tool is accessible via goodsam.com and is constantly updated to ensure the consumer is getting the most accurate information before transacting. The bigger question I have is, can we really trust an RV appraisal tool ran by the largest RV dealership chain in the country? Camping World has also hired RV industry veteran Renee Gillis as its new director of design. Renee is no slouch, having worked for Monaco Coach and Thor Industries over nearly 3 decades. So the question is, besides sourcing products for its stores, what will Camping World's design department be up to? Camping World has made clear on multiple occasions its intent to build its own RVs, whether they're custom branded and built by another manufacturer or built by Camping World themselves, which could ruffle the feathers of some of their manufacturing partners. Camping World already has exclusive lines that aren't available at other dealerships like Coleman and Pioneer. They teased an Eddie Bauer trailer earlier this year that has yet to come to fruition, and an electric RV collaboration with Lordstown Motors fell through, but I wouldn't count out the possibility of an actual Camping World produced RV in the near future. The national average price for a gallon of gas fell 7 cents in the past week to reach $3.69 on Friday, a level not seen since the beginning of March. The primary reason is the recent lower cost for oil, according to a release from AAA, saying that pump prices have been falling steadily for 3 straight months, and with fall approaching, more markets could soon see prices below $3 per gallon. However, after last week's news, a few of you pointed out that the national average isn't telling the whole story in some places, such as California, where fuel prices took a 10-cent upturn in the past week. Finally, it's about time for fall colors, and Accuweather has released its annual fall foliage forecast. Some of the most popular places across the Northeast and Appalachians are expected to be duller than years past, thanks to a lack of rainfall this summer. The region did get some rain later in the summer, but it was a little too late to help the stressed trees. Leaves have already started to turn brown and crispy across parts of Connecticut and Rhode Island as well. For places like Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, and northern New York, the peak usually occurs around late September and into the first week of October. But Accuweather says the pinnacle of color could be reached closer to the second or third week of October this year. Peak color in the upper Midwest, Great Lakes, and parts of the Ohio, Tennessee, and Mississippi valleys should be excellent this year and should also fall slightly later than normal. In the eastern Rockies, September dryness will lead to an early changeover atop the mountains, but lower elevations will change mid-fall, and the aspens in the Four Corners region will be more vibrant this year compared to last. As for the northern Rockies and interior Northwest, the season will be complete flip from last year when widespread drought and extreme temperatures resulted in a dull season. Places like Bighorn National Forest should be spectacular this year. California, Nevada, and parts of western New Mexico have been facing heavy drought, and most of the trees are stressed, but plenty of moisture from the snowy winter and wet spring and early summer will lead to vibrant colors in western Oregon and Washington this fall. The folks at AmericanForest.org have created an interactive map where you can move a slider to see peak colors by date for the upcoming weeks. We'll link to that and all the sources for this week's stories in the description. That's it for this week's RV and camping news. Be sure to like and subscribe and check us out over at the RV Miles podcast, available both here on YouTube and on any podcast app. We'll see you next time.